Wow, that's pretty nice, and music gives me a good feeling. Thank you very much for that,
Yeah,
Maki. Hello,
thank
everyone.
you.
My name is Emil Brok. I'm the host for the Friday Ketchup, and today my guest is, and I try to pronounce it again correctly, Abdelrahman Mekky.
Yes, yes,
Is
you
that
did it
anywhere
right.
close to the
Yes.
right pronunciation, Maki?
I would say like 90%. Yes, but it's
90%.
very good. Very good.
Okay, I'll go with 90%. Hey, thank you very much for being my guest this week. So we are going to talk about open source in the Middle East. Very curious for
Yes.
what you have to what you have to tell us about that. So can you please introduce yourself to the Friday Ketchup audience?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys. This is Abdelrahman Mekky, and this is 100% right pronunciation for my name. I have recently joined SUSE for the last almost 3 months.
All right.
I came from experience, 7 years experience in Qatar. I have joined the team here in Dubai. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to start this episode, man.
Wow. And what is your role within Susan?
I'm working as account executive. I'm responsible for 5 countries: Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, and Pakistan as well.
All right, excellent. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
if you're 3 months with us, welcome. Welcome at the Green team. I
That's
see we
good.
have to work on getting you a green polo for the for being in it.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I'm just
yeah.
joking.
I should have this. No, I should have this. I should have this.
No. Hey, what we were listening to when we started this Friday Ketchup, I try again to pronounce it correctly. Amr Diab,
Amr Diab. Yes,
Amr Diab,
yes.
and
He
Noor
is.
Al
Yeah.
Naim. And can you tell
Noor.
us what the song is about, or why did you pick this particular song?
Yeah, so this song actually it gives kind of high energy. However, he's literally flirting with his girlfriend, describing how beautiful she is and
Ah,
that's the beauty of her eyes and everything. But
ah,
it's really nice. The music, it's again, it's a mix between the literally dark music and some, I guess, maybe Spanish music in the
yeah,
song as well. I guess
yeah,
so.
yeah. Yeah, well, a bit further in the song, it even sounded, as Luc, cameraman, also said, of some very typical Dutch, I would say
Mm.
traditional Dutch songs as well, with
Yeah.
the harmonica music in it. It's really nice. Of course, I put the title and the artist underneath. And of course, it is added
Yeah.
now to the Friday Ketchup Spotify playlist. So have a look for the playlist. It's already quite comprehensive nowadays, with around, I think, 60 songs or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's cool.
But thank you very much for that contribution. What I am really
Thanks.
curious for, the reason that I invited you to be my guest is because I have no idea how open source is perceived in the Middle East. Can you tell us a little bit about open source community, businesses, how they do it in the Middle East?
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, the discussion now is totally different than a couple of years before. I mean, like, if we go back like 5, 6 years, and we talk about again the adoption for the open source in the Middle East, I mean, specifically, it wouldn't be like totally different discussion.
Yeah,
I guess the main reason is like the technology itself. It's moving towards the open source. It's not only about the Middle East. Yes, for sure, we are quite late about the adoption for this one, but the technology in general, the top trends, if we could say, about the again the having the modernization for the application, adopting the hybrid cloud journey, everything. It's by nature moving to the open source.
yeah, yeah,
In Middle East, it's quite different. It depends on the country. So whenever it comes to the countries who a bit struggling with securing high budgets for adopting again the solutions, they go for open source and they go big shot for open source. I mean, like the qualified engineers there and the qualified tech persons inside I mean, each country it's different, but I mean,
Mhm.
they are quite good. They are quite good.
Okay, okay. So there is a lot of community-driven open source in the Middle East as well.
Yes, 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 and especially for the application modernization, I mean the containers.
Yeah,
Now there are, I guess, couple of groups on Facebook and LinkedIn for Kubernetes in Arabic. It's called Kubernetes بالعربي. This is the
yeah,
translation, and
yeah.
they have kind of like a weekly or bi-weekly meeting, and someone is presenting like kind of the new
Oh yeah.
technologies in this, in this scene, and it's biased. It doesn't have any a preferred vendor or any preferred
No,
technology that they are going for. They are
no.
going for the open source Kubernetes, and it's really interesting. It's really nice.
All right. And you are now 3 months with SUSE. Before the 3 months, did
Yes.
you ever heard about SUSE, or is SUSE really a huge, big name like everybody? If you ask in the industry about open source, well, they mention SUSE in the short list, or is it really that our competitor is 10 times bigger, or how would I see the market, open source commercial market in the Middle East?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, SUSE is a great vendor and a big vendor when it comes to
Okay.
the open source and offering the open source. For the market, again, the market presence, I used to work with a competitor for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, SUSE is there. SUSE is there, and along with Rancher now, also the discussion is totally different. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
and it puts yes, and it put us from SUSE perspective. I mean, in front of the customers, in front of again all the open source lovers. They really like the idea that we provide clean uninstallation for Rancher in case the customer doesn't want to continue with Rancher, let's say, right? So we
Yeah.
provide them with Kubernetes clusters so they can go work open source with no vendor login, with literally no vendor login, which
Yeah.
I guess no one else can do and commit for the same before they start the engagement with the customer. So usually what I have faced before is like when it comes to migration, when it comes to upgrade, it's always a mess. It
Wow.
has never been straightforward. So what we are providing is really nice.
Okay. Well, cool. Cool to hear. Hey, a question that I
Yeah.
have for my guests, as well as always, if there is like a podcast or a book, something to consume over the weekend. And do you have a recommendation for the Friday Ketchup audience for what to listen
Yeah.
to or read?
Yeah, sure. There is a nice podcast. I really like to listen to it. It's called Business Wars. It's based on the book Business Wars,
Yeah.
but it's really nice. It's summarized kind of a competition between two big names in each industry. I mean, something like McDonald's and Burger King. How did
Yeah.
they start? Who was copying from whom? And then the competition at the start was so on fire. You know. Also, there was a nice one also about Coca-Cola and Pepsi,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
how Coca-Cola was struggling in the beginning, and then Pepsi was copying what Coca-Cola was doing. So it's really nice giving you insights how they have started those big names.
Wow.
They were really struggling. It's really nice. It's really nice, and a lot of episodes. So each episode it will take you for a different industry, different challenges. How the people there was actually interacting with the current challenges.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. I really recommend this one.
Wow, okay. And is there one of the episodes you really recommend if we're going to listen to, like just the latest one, or a specific one? You said like a Coca-Cola Pepsi one, or are there IT industry, I would say, IT industry related episodes as well?
Well, I really like McDonald's and Burger King because
Okay,
it was really nice how McDonald's was introducing the concept of having again the kind of drive-through thing for the having the orders on the cars and everything. That was really market disruption and was making market disruption. And how Burger King also was introducing kind of those machines was for having the French fries, the ready French fries, and they catch up McDonald's and they over McDonald's at some point as well.
Oh yeah.
I really like this episode. Also, there was Nike and Adidas as well.
Oh yeah.
How also the competition, like Adidas was dominating the everything in the market, and then like they overlapped Adidas big time. You know how did this happen? That was also very nice. What else?
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I guess.
Like McDonald's and an easy one to remember. So I'll put the referral to that underneath. Hey, and when you're talking about this podcast, I was thinking of this book. It's called Marketing Warfare. It's one of the books I had on my mandatory list of books at my study. And it goes a little bit in that direction because it's really about looking at a marketing strategy as if you are fighting a war, basically. Yeah. So it's something, this is a book I learned a lot from, and I'm really going to listen to this podcast for sure. Then my question is, if Suze would be in this podcast, together with, let's say, one of our competitors, Red Hat is the most obvious one, I think. Where would Suze have the advantage over Red Hat? How would they look at that from this podcast point of view?
So for the podcast, actually, they will take you in a journey. So they will take you from, again, the date of the release for the first product from Suze, again, and it will take you through the whole journey till, as of now, what we are offering from Suze and what are the competitors, the revenue competition and everything, right? Yeah. So I'm so excited to learn more about like how Suze was starting, especially that the first enterprise Linux operating system was introduced by SUSE, I guess, 1992, if I'm not mistaken, and I guess from Red Hat it was like a couple of years after that.
Correct.
And again, it will not only be the start, right? So it will take you also through who was the first to introduce kind of for the customized tuned kernel for SAP or for the different workloads, and I guess SAP and SUSE will have a nice events to share actually about this the R&D, the mission critical workloads, the real high intense workloads running on the operating system. Also Red Hat, they have very good solutions. I guess they will have a nice story to tell as well when it comes to Ansible, when it comes to the other products which they have as well. But again, reaching the final stage with Rancher and OpenShift, it will be really tough one. So
and 100%. How would they look at this podcast at us acquiring NeuVector?
NeuVector. Okay, so. Okay, if we'll have again the same competition, so Red Hat, they have the Advanced Cluster Security Management, ASM, I guess. So, but the most interesting part that like I wouldn't say like most of the OpenShift customers, but like big part of OpenShift customers, they are using NeuVector before SUSE acquiring NeuVector. Yeah. So it would be really nice also to just wait and see like how the OpenShift or the OpenShift team and the OpenShift customer will react for the SUSE acquisition for NeuVector and what are the approaches for this as well. Yeah. So I guess this would be really nice. Yeah. So actually that's the idea for the business world, again, the podcast for SUSE, that it would be really nice.
Yeah. And then I was thinking like, okay, how would you in a warfare see that SUSE bought a proprietary company, NeuVector, and we actually made the code open. It's now open. It's open source now. So
yes.
That I think that's really a game changer, isn't it?
Yes, 100%, 100%. Actually, SUSE is a true believer of the open source. Like, I mean, all the products, without saying, it goes for same the community version. Again, like we are not pointing to the competition here. Again, with Red Hat and how they approach again with their products and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like from SUSE side, 100% open source is a key thing here, and
Yeah.
we are truly believing in this. I mean, the power of many, it's a real thing. It's not just a words.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Wow. I learned a lot from the podcast, from open source in the Middle East, from Susan in the Middle East. So I want to thank you very, very much for being my guest. Is there something you want to say as a goodbye to the Friday Ketchup audience?
Just before the goodbye, I forgot to mention also about one initiative in Oman, if you remember. I was trying to approach you for this one. So it's really nice initiative, and I'm very happy that I'm working with the team there. It's for OpenShift. Sorry, OpenShift. It's an initiative. It's an initiative for open source enablement for again all the employees there, literally anyone interested in learning, and it's not about specific technology. It's open source in general. So they are so much interested about the open source or operating systems or Kubernetes clusters or any kind of open source initiative, and they do this for free. And it's really nice. So they do it for the students, they do it for the employees, even of either the public sector or the private sector. So it's kind of enablement for the team there, and I'm quite sure that they will be having a very good outcome out of this, 100%.
All right, cool. Good to hear. So training many people all over the world, also in Oman.
Yes, okay. yes. It's really nice. It's really nice.
Thank you very much for that. We go back to Amar Diab, to that great song of him, and see you all next week. Thank you very much for watching. Please give a thumbs up or heart and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Listen to...
Thank you. I guess you like it.
See you next week. Bye-bye.